Right. Chapter 4 of the Complete Guide to Buying a Home. We're going to be talking about some real estate horror stories that you can learn from. And basically, these are just things to look out for, be careful of, watch out for, because you probably heard a lot of horror stories from people buying homes, maybe even experienced a few yourself. So just wanted to take a quick moment to point out a couple of things here. I'm not going to tell you about all the stories, let you read them, but basically look out for things like lenders who will try to scam you out of money, or anybody that will try to scam you out of money. Making sure you get good inspections done on the home for termites, molds, even snakes, like you'll read about here in these stories. And just do your due diligence. Just, because you see a home that looks nice on the outside, doesn't mean, that it necessarily is on the inside. So you want to do your due diligence, make sure you do your inspections. I know right now we're in a really crazy market where, people are getting multiple offers on their homes when they're selling them. And as buyers, you're competing with lots of other people. So some people are just waiving their contingencies and inspection periods and buying the home as is without even seeing them. Here in Florida, I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about people that don't even come to see the house. They just make offers on it. And typically what happens is they'll make an offer on it. The offer will get accepted. And, you as a buyer competing against them, obviously your offer isn't accepted. And then they fly down. And when they get here, they actually see the place and they decide not to buy it. So that makes it hard for the sellers. So a lot of sellers don't even want to get in these situations with buyers. So all kinds of crazy things going on. Just today I did a closing with a woman who was telling me that she put her house up for sale. She didn't think it was going to sell very fast. Said she sold it in 4 hours. She got 4 different offers on it. 2 of them fell through. So the first one, what happened was there was some issue with them moving to Florida, getting a new job, so their loan fell through. The second one, the guy had made an offer on it, but his fiance or girlfriend or whoever it was, when she came to look at it, didn't like it. So because it was too close to the highway, it was about a quarter mile, half a mile from one of the main highways here in the area off of US 19, and she didn't like being so close to the highway. So that fell through. And then the last 2 offers, one depended on financing. It was a little bit higher, but the woman said she ended up taking the cash offer that was lower just because she didn't want to have to deal with that. So as a buyer, a lot of times it's not even about the amount, the loan you can get. There are other factors involved that you have to be careful of. And one of the things that I see people doing is just, waiving their inspection periods, waiving contingencies. And you have to be really careful. If you know when the house was built, it's a new house, there's no issues with it, you have a friend that can walk through it with you, you know what you're looking for, making sure that it's a good home, then it might be okay. But otherwise, just be careful and don't waive things just for the sake of trying to get your offer accepted on a house. On the other hand, you don't want to be that buyer who goes crazy. This was a fun story that I heard last week. I was down in Sarasota closing with some buyers down there, and they told me when they sold their home, what happened was they got a great offer, they accepted it, and then the guy came in and was just super picky about everything. So there was an issue with the joists and the joints up in the attic, and the guy made them fix that. Then when they fixed it, then he was like, oh, that wasn't the issue, there was something else that he wanted done. So it goes both ways, both buyers and sellers. As a buyer, you just want to be careful, but at the same time you don't want to I started laughing because the end of the story, what happened was the guy was just really giving him a hard time about everything in the home that he was buying. And so the last day when they were trying to move out, they had said they were going to move out by noon. And the guy came in and said that they had to be out by 9. And if they weren't out by 9 a.m., he was going to call the cops on them for trespassing. So they went and talked with several people, and their contract actually stated that they had to sign before 5 o'clock. So they ended up pushing the time up to 2 p.m. So whereas they could have signed early, been out by noon, they actually pushed the time up to sign at 2 p.m. So they weren't even out till 3 or so at the latest, just because the buyer was being so ornery about everything. That was kind of their revenge is sweet moment. So as a buyer, you don't want to waive your inspections. You want to make sure that everything's okay. No mold, no snakes, no termites. You want to make sure you're getting, working with the right people. So you want to do your due diligence. But at the same time, once you're in, you don't want to be the person who makes everybody mad and irritates them and goes overboard, because then they can push back and make life miserable for you, right? So anyways, just a few of the stories that are in here. Go ahead, read those. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us, and leave us some of your stories in the comments below. Tell us crazy horror stories you've heard from people buying or selling homes, or even stories that you've experienced. Stories are always fun, right? We love stories. So go ahead, read chapter 4, and I will see you in the next section.